Hello, my name is Emily. I'm the Crazy Flippin' Mom, and today we're going to talk about inventory. People usually have a great system. They love it. They're on top of it, and they have a plan, magical, or the inventory system is sucking the life force from their business. And hopefully today I can give you some good tips to help you. I am somewhere in between that. It's not great, but it's not terrible. And I actually do two different things in my inventory depending on my mood. So let's get into it. Number one, both of the things I'm going to show you and talk about are in the link in my bio. Poly bags are from You Pack and Ship. I actually have an Amazon Associates account and could get a referral, whatever, to link the ones on Amazon. These ones from You Pack and Ship are much cheaper. And I like that they have the little tear so you can seal them. I've seen people seal them, put them in their inventory system, and then seal them before they have the item sold. I get so many questions on items, like how big is the neck hole and like this part of the arm. Craziest things, like I'm not sealing nothing until it's sold, but I do like this because you don't know what's going to happen. It's peace of mind and it looks really professional. They're very cheap at You Pack and Ship. They have lots of sizes. You just got to make sure you get like the ones that have some like stretch to them. Anyways, this is what I'm using to store my items. Second, it's also in the link in my bio. I use Airtable to track all my numbers. It has an app attached to it. There's a free, when you can just download it and use their free version. You can also upgrade. It's telling me, I track all of my numbers. It's telling me how much I have sitting downstairs in product, my net and gross numbers, my take home, everything. I can send it to somebody, my tax man. I like it. Before I was doing this, I just had one little tub and a notepad and paper. That wasn't working for me. And if you're like me, I'm not great at math, I would say. I was making a good amount of errors. So in that Airtable, I have my bins, my numbers. So I just have to search the table and it will tell me this item is located in this bin. So then when it sells, I just put how much it sells for, and then it will say the net, the gross, your take home, la la. And that's really nice. So you can see, okay, these items are good to pick up, or you're spending too much on items. You can kind of get a good idea of where you could be not spending so much, or yeah, making good buys. I learned a lot through the Airtable system, what I should be buying more of, and stop buying shoes. Anyways, here's my system. I have tubs and I have clothing racks. If you are lazy and you know yourself, you know you hate to do inventory system. It is like the worst thing. You'd rather go do a mammogram once a week than sit down and do your inventory system. Get some freaking clothing racks. Don't go buy the plastic type because they're going to break in half. If you research industrial heavy duty on wheels, they're pretty expensive. I am about 90% sure in your community, unless you're in the boondocks, there are stores closing down around you. Now they will be selling off their clothing racks. So you can go in there and talk to them like I did this summer and see if you can buy a little quantity of clothing racks at a better deal than like what they're selling them at $60 or whatever when you just walk in. Or you can wait till the closing date and walk in and get them at $1 like I did too. If that doesn't work, check your local swap pages. Facebook Marketplace always has clothes. I'm not the only one selling clothing racks on Facebook Marketplace. They're always on there. So just keep your eye out for them. Clothing racks pretty much is how I'm doing my inventory system. I have a clothing rack for shirts, pants, dresses. I was never putting heavier duty type like coats. I pretty much just lost my train of thought there. Coats, like beaded dresses, vintagey. I never wanted to fold those up into a poly bag and put them in here. Number one, they were taking up too much room in a bin. I just felt better about hanging them up. In general, I like hanging my stuff up because it takes seconds to have it put away in its proper place and out of my living room where I photograph. I just don't have a lot of time to do an inventory system, like put it into bins. maybe like I should, but I know myself. I'm not going to do that right now. I used to do this pretty much all the time. Right now, I just have way too many things happening. If that's like you, go get a couple racks. This is okay. This is an okay way of doing an inventory system. Hanging up on clothing racks. I'm just going to say it's okay from here on out. It's part of the inventory system. Having a clothing rack system is kosher. So it's pretty much what I do. I still have bins. Okay, at one point I did have 1,000 items. Right now I have 600 items. The postman just knocked on the door, but my husband's here. I did have 1,000 items. Right now I'm at 600. I still have a good amount of bins downstairs. I'm not putting a lot into bins anymore. It's mostly going to clothing racks. Originally with the bins, I was doing all sorts of crap because I got on to other resellers' pages and I just thought I needed to do what they were doing, and it was hello confusing. And I said, yes, the more confusing equals the better, probably. And I was doing the alphabet system, which is like bin A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The problem is, as I grew, I went through the alphabet twice, and then what was in the bins was given a number. So my Airtable would say, oh, the item is located in bin AB, and you need to pull number 113. This doesn't seem confusing, but here's what would happen. I would be up at 1 a.m. because usually I'd be inventorying at 1 a.m. and I'd be doing 100 items. And I'd be at bin AB doing number A or 113. And all my lines in my brain would be crossed. And it'd get real confusing real quick, guys. And then I was running out in letters, and it just got overwhelming for me to do all the numbers and all the letters. I don't know if I'm rambling at this point, but it's just a lot. Here's my tip about doing numbers, doing letters, mixing it all is the system you start when you have 50 items. You need to stop and say, will this system work when I have 800 items? Because when I freaking had 1,000 items and I was doing, oh my gosh, this bin is an 8AB and it's number, it was freaking confusing, guys. And I was mixing numbers around and it was confusing. I had probably 80 bins downstairs. It was a lot of bins. It was a lot of numbers. I ran out of alphabet. So I was mixing alphabet. It was just crazy. So the inventory system you set up at the beginning, you need to think to yourself, will this be overwhelming when I grow my closet to 500 listings? And I really wish I stopped and asked myself at the beginning, because yes, it was overwhelming when I got to 1,000 listings. So when I got through the alphabet twice, I stopped and I was like, this has got to stop. And I came up with a new system. And I did cry a little bit when I figured the system out. I don't know if I saw somebody do it or it was just Jesus speaking to my heart. But it was just, it's always been amazing, this system. I don't even use the bins a lot. I imagine that at some point I'll run out of clothing racks and have to use bins. But here's what I do now. All my bins have, not all my bins, but the ones that run out or I switch over when I'm feeling like in the mood, they are numbered 001. This is bin 008. Imagine that. In the bins. Nothing crazy. They are tagged with what's inside. These are silver Suki jeans. That's everything in the bin. So in my Airtable, I just look up, hey Airtable, where are these jeans? And there is a search bar on Airtable. And I type in this name. And you know what it says? Hey Emily, they're in bin 008. No other numbers. And that's it. That's it. This is really nice. At one time, so I overhauled my system because it really got out of hand when I went through the alphabet twice and I was at 1,000 listings. I mean, I was really losing it for a second because like I said, I do a lot of my inventory system at 1 a.m. Like when my kids go to bed, I pull everything out and I'm putting it in. I got super confused. My lines were crossed. Numbers and letters were everywhere. So I did stuff wrong. At that time, I wrote the inventory letters in a lot of my listings. So that's a really nice way to do it too. Especially, I know that one of the Posh Fest hacks is to do their own database, and where you can do that. I like this system. My bins will all be numbered now. 001, 002. The things inside will just be tagged with what they are, and then I'll just write down, like I said. This is a really, really easy way to do it, because as I grow, as things move in and out of the bins, I don't have to be concerned in my system with, what if I use this number and I use this number again, which is a huge concern with my old system. Say I had bin AA and I had number AA 11, and then I accidentally used AA 11 again. I was screwed, guys. So this is a really nice way to do it, because there's no overlap in numbers, because I'm just using the brand and the description of the actual item. So I hope this makes a little bit of sense. Like I said, I'll say it again, just think the way you're starting your inventory system, when you have a small amount of items, it needs to grow with you. It needs to be like something you know will be manageable, and like you can imagine at 800 items, it'll still work for you. Okay, I think that's it. I hope this was helpful. The bins have been really great, but the freaking racks, man, that is like the lazy reseller's successful guide to owning the world. Anyways, have a great day. Anyways, yeah, that's it. That's all I got.